Good morning.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
I'm gonna stay for a lot
Nice to
better.
see you all.
You too.
River, it's been a while.
You look good, River. You look great.
I wonder if she can hear us.
You can't hear it. Yeah. Let me get.
Oh, I hear Loranto's little one.
Hi.
Hi.
No.
Hi, hi. Okay. What's his name again? Oh, you're muted. I don't know.
Lisedi.
Say that again.
Lisedi.
Lissetti.
Yes. So did they calling your name, you see? Say hi.
Hi, Lissetti.
Say hi. Oh, handsome. Thank you.
Okay, well, shall we get rolling? I think we should. Okay. I'm going to make you guys a little bigger on my screen. Yay. All right. Well, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you guys. If you can, have your videos on, okay? I know not everyone has heard my spiel about this, but I really would love if you can to keep your videos on because it is much easier for me to teach to people than to names, okay? And so, yes, it's a selfish request, but it is a request. If you were in class in my house, then you would have to see my face and I would have to see your face. And you are in my house. Okay. You're just on my computer screen. So, anyway, just telling you, that would be awesome if you can. So, how has your week been, guys? Amanda had a good nod. River gave a questionable look. Okay, well, you guys could say something if you want. It's been like a
Okay.
roller.
I first want to say I am so happy to be back in this class because I've been missing it so much this last couple of months. That's just the way my first part of the year is with my job. This past week was interesting. I flew to and from Washington, D.C., which is on the other side of the country for those of you guys that aren't. I mean, I am there. I'm in Washington State. And so I flew over there to spend time with my daughter, and that was nice.
Fun.
Yeah, it was nice. So happy to be here, at least this week.
Yay.
And I love listening to the taped recording of it. So I feel like I'm here when I do that, and I engage along with you during that time. So thank you.
Yay, cool. Good. Awesome. Anybody have any other updates for us?
I also want to say I'm sorry I haven't been here quite a bit, but I have been watching the recordings and I have beautiful testimonies. I've been doing the declarations
Mhm.
and just ask the Holy Spirit, asking the Holy Spirit what I needed to do for that day or whatnot. When I was led to do the one with safety. Actually, I am safe. I feel safe. That's an important one to me. And I mean, it was so good. And then I did one, I was led to say, I am calm, I'm relaxed. That calmed my nervous system like nothing else had before. It was amazing. And so now every time, twice a week, when I go do my water aerobics for my exercise, of course I didn't go this week because I was sick, but right after I'll like start walking around and then just relax in the water and just walk in the water or like hop in the water or whatever. And I just keep saying and saying whatever the Lord tells me to go through and say. And I've been loving it, loving it. A lot of wow, just wow.
That's awesome. I've felt a lot like this too. It's just, it's made a huge difference in my life. And I have noticed that I'll start one thing and then the Lord will just kind of lead me into more things about it or something. And um, I love that He's flowing in that with me. And even for me, this is going to be funny for many of you won't understand this at all, but um, speaking out loud, things like that, it has always been the very most uncomfortable thing for me that I never do. I don't speak out loud about much of anything, like really, like I don't talk to myself. I don't, a lot of people do that and it's very normal. I am just never like that ever. And so for me, even just speaking all of these things out loud has been transformational for me. It's like my body is receiving it better because I'm doing that, which I know that concept. Okay. I've known it for a long time that your body receives things better when you are speaking it. But I have struggled with, I guess, maybe it's self-confidence or something. I don't know. Or I even feel like I embarrass myself, which makes no sense, but I'm like too embarrassed around myself to even do it. Even if I'm totally alone, it doesn't, yeah. I don't know why I'm like that, but it has been a big change for me in a good way, I feel like. All right, anybody else?
Christine, that is so relatable to me.
Oh, good.
It's, you know, this week, and I tell you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you the truth. This is no joke. I was speaking it, saying my affirmations and speaking it out loud. And I caught myself and I said, I'm not even afraid to speak this out loud because I'm like you. I get embarrassed and I don't like speaking out loud like that. And even when I used to say my prayers, I would not speak them out loud. I would whisper them, and that's just crazy how it just the way that you're saying this, and that's what was clicking for me this week was like,
Oh,
I'm not afraid to say this out loud. I can speak this out loud.
yes.
That was crazy. It's just like,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that's good.
Yay. I don't feel as alone anymore. Fair, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have I'm giving you a message as well as Lisa, but it feels like there's a pressing need for people to take these giftings and substance from an angel. He apparently he keeps getting my attention, and it's like he has stuff loaded in his arms. So if you guys would press in to see if that is your stuff.
Cool. Well, how about let's all press into the heavenly classroom and do that at the same time. Okay. Let's just get rolling. right, let's focus back here. Okay, I want to share something really briefly. I felt like that there were several people in this class who have been looking for kind of who they are in even the earth. Okay, like what are my hobbies? How do I have fun? I don't know. That sort of thing. And one of the things the Lord was releasing was just this fun. I don't know how to say that, but like an ability to have fun. And it's starting in the heavenly realms for you. And so when you start to have fun with the Lord and with all of the angels and beings and all of that, everything will open up to where you are able to receive that in the natural. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that. Anyone
I
have?
kept
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I kept hearing this song, and I'm gonna just play the specific lyrics that I was listening to, or that I kept hearing over and over. So I was like, I'm gonna play them. So it's the angels cry out, holy, all creations cried, holy, holy forever. It's that specific section. I kept hearing it over and over and over. And I just felt this worship, just this atmosphere of just worship and exaltation to the Lord, and just loving, love, 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 and honor to the God Almighty.
That's cool. I love it.
Can I add this? I feel like a huge press to really release this, especially for those who are in the United States. Um, I feel like there is a significant breaking to some of the foundations of the U.S., and the Lord as and His angels are pressing me to share that you guys need to reach out and grab some of the positions and authority that is being released. So he needs his people to grab this authority. And so it's going to feel like you're being tossed into things, but take it. That's all from Fair.
Amen.
In my spirit, I was like, yeah, River. Okay. I'm just going to say that. Everything. So just wanted to know that that's for sure for you. I'm
I
sure it's for me.
received a silver star, but it was like a paperweight, and I could feel it. I could feel its thickness. I could feel and see the shininess of it. It's like a silver star, like a paperweight that you put on your desk, and I could even feel the felt underneath. And I kept hearing this song. It's a secular song, and I kept hearing it in my mind. I didn't know the words, and I was like, "What are the words to this song? Why do I keep hearing this?" And then after media played that song, I realized that the song was called "I'm Wishing on a Star," and I was like, "It's an old song. It's a I don't remember who sings it, but it's like an R&B song."
Rolls Royce or something like that. I was listening to it the other day.
And and so I was like, "Is this all like? What is this for? I don't know what it's for." And he just said, "Just take it with you, and it's going to be on your desk." And he said, "And here's a bag for your journey." He said, "And whatever you need is in this bag." And he said that, the part where we say that all the resources are available to us. And that's what he told me. He said, anything that you need, he said, just grab into the bag, grab it, and take it with you.
Okay. Can I ask, I don't know if I am the only one, but has anyone seen Dora the Explorer? Okay, when you were talking about that immediately, I was like backpack. That's what it felt like. Like backpack from Dora the Explorer, where everything that possibly could be needed comes out of this bag, and you're like, how did it all fit in here? And everything that you need was in that. Anyway, I thought it was fun. Hmm.
And it talks to you.
What did you say?
And it talks to you to tell you, I'm here.
True.
I got you.
Fair said, new eyes and ears are being released. Take it.
I see cashing coins, gold coins, not the pennies. I'll take the pennies too.
Felt like it was important to receive from heaven into the earth when you said that. Um kind of like Yeshua prayed on earth as it is in heaven, just to receive from this realm. Yeah.
I was
When
thinking about, oh, go ahead, River. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So when I first started engaging, I felt I mean, it might have been what Fair said, but she said pressing in, and all I could see was this huge, almost like a balloon, only it wasn't made out of that kind of material, but this huge big something kind of in front of me. And I said, "What is this?" And it was something that an angel was holding it, but there was so much there that I couldn't see the angel. All I could see was this stuff. So I kept saying, well, how do I receive this? What do I get from it? Finally, I understood that I just needed to let it come into me, which I did. And then I could see the angel. And, one of my things that I have to learn is how to ask questions because I don't often ask the question that needs to be asked. So anyway, then I was like, okay, now what is this that and I felt it like in me, right? And what I got, and I believe that I have more engaging to do on this, but was that this is the next phase, the next level of growth that I'm coming into in my like spiritual growth and also in what I'm doing here, which is spiritual growth. What I'm doing on the earth is the spiritual growth. So
That's awesome.
thanks, Farah.
River, when you said that, it made me think that you were like backpack. Like Amanda was saying, you know what I mean? That she was given the bag or that we were, I don't know. But it felt like your next level was you being the one holding all the infinite resources, and that you are like that, which is cool.
Thank you. It actually, that does resonate with what that large thing was. And thank you.
Um, okay. I don't know if this is really significant. I'm new to the class, but I saw in the corner of the classroom that there was so much I saw there was joy in this one corner, and there's so many more angels. I don't know why I was made aware that there's so many more angels here on the line today. I didn't see the angels, but I knew that there were so many more angels that are here. And there's so many gifts. I know that the room was full of gifts for us today. Today is like a special, I feel like today is a special day.
I second that. Yeah, Karen. Yeah.
Well,
And
thank
for
you.
you, I saw that there's it feels like a secretary. I don't know if it's in the natural or the spirit, but there to help you in your positions. It's like the Father is giving you a higher level at your job. Yeah, and Karen, I not Karen, and Lisa, I see that you have healing anointing for your counseling business. It does feel like a special day. I don't know what today is, but it's like something significant that is going on. Yeah. Okay.
That's
And
cool.
that's all from fair.
Awesome. Anyone else? Okay. So let me ask you guys this. Last week, do you remember what we talked about? Anyone? Feel like I saw some nods.
Sonship versus slave.
There you go. Okay. So, um, I'm wondering, did anyone open up that chart that has the son versus slave stuff or son versus orphan? Yeah. Um, is there anything that stood out to you that the Lord was highlighting for you to kind of work on mindsets or do anything about? Nothing. Okay. Well, maybe that wasn't worth a lot to you. Hopefully, it will be something you can at least put in your pocket. I hope that you guys go over some of these things and that this is something that can help you grow. River, go ahead.
Where did you put the I was listening to the thing as I was traveling and like literally on the plane traveling. And I didn't see where you put the chart, the link to it. Where did you put it?
In the class, in the group, just like, yes.
Is it a PDF or
It was on an Evernote.
oh, yeah, I didn't see an
It's a
Evernote.
PDF on an Evernote.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, the
Yes.
gateway chart is that
No, above that.
Yeah. Yeah. Over it. It's just I was pretty crummy in a lot of those sections.
Well,
I was pretty crummy, so I went over it.
let me give you a word of advice, okay? Everyone here is everybody knows, I think, about courts of heaven, yeah? Like going to the courts. Yes. I see a hesitation a bit from Karen. Is this true? Are you like, yeah, I kind of do, or what?
I do. I just don't know that I know exactly what I'm doing. I've been a few times, but I'm still new to it. I'm just trying to make sure that I wasn't messing it up.
Ah,
That's it.
okay, well, here, let me give you a great word of advice. Never go to the courts without your attorney who leads the way and tells you what to do. Okay, so your attorney is Yeshua. And so that's the easiest thing. Everyone's always worried about messing it up. You don't have to be worried if you aren't the one leading. So, like if I go to court, I'm not going by myself because I don't know anything in the natural. If I am called to court, you better believe I'm not going by myself because I have no idea what I'm doing. I am going with an attorney. I don't even care what it's for. That's what's happening. And it's the same in the heavenlies because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I can give you a clue about how it might go, but really, he leads everything every time. So I would say just practice being led. That's the best thing. So what I was going to say about the courts though is when you're going through the chart, I would recommend doing what Fair did and going through and going, oh crap, there's this, and this. Okay. And it seems intimidating, but actually it's good because it can kind of give you a place to start, especially if you go to the courts. So you can go, oh, I have this problem here. I need to get my soul in line with the truth because that's the whole purpose of the courts of heaven for us right now, we know that everything has already been done by Yeshua, right? When we go in and we feel guilty and then the verdict is turned to not guilty, it's not because we actually start out guilty. That's what our soul thinks. Our soul thinks we're guilty, but sin and death and all of that has been defeated on the cross already. We're already under the blood. We just have to get our soul in line with the truth. And so, just like the chart, we know the truth is we're sons. We don't have to try to be sons. We are sons. But our mindset says, I'm an orphan. I'm a slave. I'm not a son. And so we have to get everything in line with what the truth is. And that's what the benefit of the courts is, because we bring our soul before the Lord and we go to the Father and say, I'm standing under the covenant with Yeshua. And so please show me where the enemy has had access, because I haven't been standing under the blood. Okay, because if they say, oh, you did this, here's this, all of that, that is coming from what your blood is crying out, what your soul is crying out, right? All of these things, they come up because it's what is crying out inside of us saying you're not righteous. And so the truth is we are righteous. We come under his blood and we're righteous. We come under his blood. We're sons. We are able to stand in that place. But when our soul comes in line with the Spirit, it's like the truth resonates at a deeper level. And so then we don't carry that anymore. And we do go, wait, he said not guilty. Because, when the Father has an interaction, at least with me, when Father interacts with me, it changes things. I mean, my identity is changed when I have experiences with him and he says I'm something. I could argue everything, but I can't argue with the Father. I can say, no, I'm not worthy. And when he says, I told you you're worthy, then you just go, right, you're right, and you come in line with it. And then it doesn't matter who says anything about you. You go, wait a second, that was taken care of. Wait a second, I'm under Yeshua, and that's who I am. And so things start to be more of your true identity. You start to actually function in your true identity is a better way of saying it, because that already is your identity. It's just we want to function fully in that. So, okay. Sorry, I didn't see that fair. My lecturer. Oh, I sound okay. When you say lecturer, I think of a parent and not a professor. I don't know why. But she said, I don't want to interrupt your lecture, but I see checks and contacts. Tell people to receive it.
It should be contract.
Oh,
Contracts. I forgot the R.
okay. Because
Contract.
I'm like, I don't know what that means. Okay.
Yeah.
Contracts. That makes sense.
And
Okay.
I don't know if for me, I don't know. I don't know why they're releasing so much right now. But there's also a healing that's like a pour to the gut. I don't know if it's for me or somebody else. I'm sensing somebody else, but it's a healing oil that's being poured from the heavens to your gut. So take it.
That's awesome.
And I hear a cleansing of eyes, a film to the eyes. And so, yeah, the left eye in particular. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I want to let the class know that this isn't me, it's heaven's getting my attention to say these things. Yeah.
Well, I think most of us know that already, but thank you for clarifying. I appreciate, I don't know if I told you guys this last time. I don't know, but there was something that we were all needing to, it was about Kingdom Builders. Many of you stayed on for Kingdom Builders after, and we engaged together. And we were all supposed to choose something to engage over, for each other. And I felt like I should ask for healing for my eyes, but then I didn't. I just asked for something else that was important too. But it's interesting because you kept saying the eyes, and I have been having trouble with I'm getting bleeds on my eyes and from diabetes. And just yesterday, again, I saw my vision get worse and I was like, crap, I don't want another. And so, anyway, I really feel like that keeps being emphasized for me. Maybe it's more than just me, but sorry. Or maybe it's to get my eyes to quit watering. I'm just kidding. Um,
No, but it seems like heaven is really flooding the class. Like they want to release some things. And so I need somebody else to take a look at this angel. He's not showing me what it is because he wants somebody else to to highlight what is being released. An angel um, releasing things. Even a car, I'm sensing in my heart. I can't see it with my eyes right now, but I'm sensing a car in office. Yeah.
mm.
I see romance too. I can't see it with my eyes, but I can feel it in my heart. They won't let me see everything. That's all unfair.
Well, I think the Lord wants to teach us about receiving today, as a part of healing. And clearly, the Lord is pouring out all sorts of things through um, his heavenly beings. And you know that we're all heavenly beings who are supposed to release things into the earth too. But in order to release things, we need to receive them. And so as we receive, then we can release. And I just want to thank all of these angels who have so easily received from the Lord, and to teach us how to receive as well. I think there's a whole lot we're supposed to receive. Since we have a whole group of women on this call, in this class, I feel like it's easy to talk to us as women, because we have a tendency to be givers and not receivers, which is interesting because if you know anything about the feminine energy, it is all about receiving, that our power is in receiving, because then we are able to birth things after. And so we are ones who should be able to call things in to be able to be received. And the masculine is what is supposed to push things forward. And we're supposed to receive things, but we have kind of taken on a different role. A lot of times it's because of being mothers, or caregivers or whatever, because you don't even have to be a mother to be a caregiver. I mean, heck, I could say this about Fair. Like she's constantly caring for her parents and her animals. And this is something that we learn to just give. And we forget that our biggest role is to be receivers and to be able to call things in. And so, okay, I want to say it out loud, Fair.
You may, but I pray to God that He shares this. I'm not selfish.
Okay.
But for them to read it, please.
Okay, so Fair said, I feel like he's releasing a heavenly Prince Charming to me. I pray that I receive. I hope the Lord gives this to you all too. Man, and we only have a couple married people on this call. And so that's kind of nice to be able to receive these things.
Except for me.
It might be for you, it might be for a lot of us. So let's receive.
I receive it in my husband in Jesus' name.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to be unmarried to receive it. That's awesome. Mm.
Chris, can y'all check in to see what's going on in the heavenlies? Like, why are they releasing this now? Or maybe I should just not ask questions and just.
I don't know.
I think the
Maybe
reason
I believe
is
that we're entering in a new season.
yeah, we're entering into a new season, and we are needing to learn to receive. That's why. I mean, if we don't learn to receive in this new season, then we will not be able to release. How are we going to take up any positions in the earth if we haven't learned the receiving part of who we are? This is a big deal, because how are we going to receive healing? How are we going to receive love? How are we going to receive finances? How are we supposed to receive all of this unless the Lord teaches us? And right now, He's pouring it out over and over, saying, look at these resources, you guys. Look at what I have for you. Because oftentimes our blockage to receiving is believing that it's not there for us. Right? And if Fair says, hey, there are these gold coins here to receive, then all of a sudden we go, oh, you mean they're there for me? Right? And so then we can go, okay, I can receive that. And then we go, wait, Prince Charming, you mean that's not just something that I kind of hope for in my heart? There's something actually there for me to receive. We need to be able to position ourselves to be in a place of receiving. And that's why, earlier when I talked about receiving from the earth as well, okay, there's something really important about releasing from heaven and receiving into the earth. Okay, it's who we're supposed to be. That's why we're multidimensional beings. That's why we are here on the earth today. But we are also in the spirit. So we need to learn to receive on earth as it is in heaven, because seeing all these things in heaven are wonderful, but worth nothing if we don't receive it into the earth. Right? Because the Father has a will for us, but if we aren't saying, okay, I receive your will, I accept your will, I want to have your will, then it's not going to manifest. It's just going to stay up there. It's kind of like all these prophetic words that people give. And then people say, but this prophet said that I'd have a husband. How come my husband hasn't come around? Because you haven't claimed your freaking husband. Are you standing on this word, or is it just something you're hoping that might manifest someday? The whole reason the Lord shows us these things is so we will take hold of it. And so we have to go, actually, this is what the Lord said, that He's releasing it. So, Lord, on earth as it is in heaven, give it to me. And it's okay to say, give it to me, when He promises it. When He tells us it's there for us, then we say, okay. It's kind of like if I say, hey, Eden's my daughter's name. Hey, Eden, I have this present for you, and you're going to be so excited about it. And it's wonderful. And I spent a lot of money on it. And I just think you're going to be so excited. She goes, oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. And then doesn't even open it. Dude, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be like, excuse me, I have this for you. And I did all this. And then she's like, oh, I didn't know I could open it now. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, open it, And then she opens it, and then she's like, oh, so I could keep this? And I'm like, that's why I got it for you. I feel like that's what the Father does for us. And we just go, I didn't know I could open it. And it's just something that we think but is it actually for me right now? Is this actually something I'm supposed to do? Is this maybe it was just something that was nice that was said, instead of actually receiving it. Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see. Fair said, when you said that, some of the cords were broken. And then she said, the cords were on me. Oftentimes, when the Holy Spirit shows up mightily to confirm a word, the demonic cords are broken. Nice. Well, we receive that too. Any of these cords that have been around us that have been trying to hold our arms down from receiving, we receive those to be broken off. In fact, as I said that, saw this angel. I love these certain angels. They're breakthrough angels, and they have these big axes, and they always break these like chains and all of that off of us. So I saw him doing that, but it wasn't with chains. It was with these like rope sort of things. And so, yeah, yay, we do receive that.
Last thing, have y'all ever heard of a promise angel? I don't know what that means.
Did you say
Promise, these
angel?
braces. Yeah,
No.
a promise.
It
It's
is
like an
not your
angel that was holding
braces.
on to something.
Holding on to something. Say this again.
Okay. It's like promise angels that were bound. Don't know what that means. Promise angels that were bound.
It's because we have, okay, there are these angels that deliver these promises and words to us. Okay. It's like this with everyone, even those who don't understand, they're getting words delivered to them. There are angels who do that. They're kind of like the messenger ones, right?
That's just out of what, Daniel chapter 10. That's what it sounds like to me. The Lord's already released it, but they were captured, or in this case, they were bound.
Yes. So can I tell you a weird story about this?
Please do.
Okay, so I won't tell you where it was, but I went to this place that the Lord did not allow me to go to for a really long time. And I had a friend who worked there. And so he wanted to take me there and to take me around. And it was a place that a lot of kind of big name conference speakers went to that I always wanted to see, but the Lord never let me. And so when I went onto the property, and then the Lord told me that I can't go any further, and neither could Arias, this angel that was with me. We couldn't go any further until the angel of the house there invited us. And so I said, hey, friend, do you happen to talk to the angel of this place? Do you know him? And he's like, yeah. And I said, can you just ask him if he's okay with us coming and to invite us in? And he's like, sure. So he did. And we were invited in, and it was so amazing. We went on, and it was fine. And as he was giving us this little tour, we went to this main kind of sanctuary, if you will, where these conferences were held and stuff. And there were all of these angels who were bound. And they were all, I did not understand it. I'd never seen this before, but they were like chained up. And I thought, that's weird. This is like a really, I would consider a holy place, right? Like a place where a lot of goodness of the Lord is. Why would these angels be bound here? And I was led to like let them go, like get them to be released. And so I did. And they were all so grateful. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I really didn't understand it. I was just thankful I was able to be a part of it. And it was only a couple of years later that the Lord showed me why they were bound. And it was because of what I would consider Christian witchcraft. Okay. So when I say that, it's like when someone prays something that is not God's will, but their will, and they don't think that they're doing anything wrong, but they are binding the angels when they're doing that. by accident. And so these angels were being bound from even functioning. And these promises, if we have these promise angels that are there that are bound, then we are not being allowed to receive those promises from the angels. And so they're there to deliver the word and also deliver the outcome. And so we need to make sure that there's nothing we have done that has bound them, and that we can get all of that taken off, so that even if somebody else did, it's kind of like this. Something that's really common that happens is people will pray for someone's healing. All right. So Karen's nose hurts. So we're going to pray that Karen gets healed in the name of Jesus, even though we haven't asked the Lord if that's what's supposed to happen. Okay. And so we just think, of course, she's supposed to be healed. So let's pray for her nose to be healed. And then what happens is, if we're doing that against the will of the Lord, maybe the Lord actually has to do something with her nose, and her nose needs to have some sort of attention. And if it doesn't get the attention, then it's not going to get something that's really important. Okay. I'm just saying that sometimes this happens, that we have these things happen for a reason, but we assume the will of the Lord. So then we operate in the spirit to try to bind these things that are coming against her nose. And we do all of these things in the name of the Lord, and we bind spirits all the time. Okay. A lot of Christians do this with really good intentions, but they don't understand that what they're doing is binding the promises of the Lord. And it's not just the promise, it's the will. And so when we pray on earth as it is in heaven, we need to pay attention to what's going on in heaven, so that we pray in line with what that is, so that we ask for everything to manifest on earth, the will of the Father that is in heaven be released into the earth. And so when he shows us what's going on, that we can align with that. I'm going to give another example. Okay. Yesterday, my son's girlfriend was having a hard time. And so he said, Mom, she asked if you would call her. So I was like, okay. So I call her, and she's having a really hard time. And I start engaging over her. And the Lord shows me her giving all of her troubles over to him. And it was like burdens is what it felt like, giving it to him, and then even giving this weapon to him that she was going to use against herself, and all of this, and giving it over to him. And then what happened was this complete peace came over her. And I told her, here's what I saw. And she said, well, I don't have the peace. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I saw it, because that's what you're supposed to do. So it's like, you're supposed to give your burdens over to him and do all of this so that the peace can come. And so she said, oh, okay. And so then she starts doing it. And it's amazing what happens when we pay attention to the will of the Lord. That seems so simple, but sometimes we don't think of easy things like that. I mean, here I was like, what do I do for her mental health? You know, this is what I'm going for when I'm engaging. Like, how can I help her? What do I do? And the Lord's just showing me the simple thing that, you know, obviously we need to give our burdens to him, but that wasn't what I was thinking of at the time. And so he's showing me what needs to happen so that it can manifest. And so when we pay attention to what's going on in the heavenlies, like these angels who are releasing all of these things and all that, well, it means nothing if we don't actually take it and manifest it. Do you understand? So seeing gold being released, we're not like, woohoo, there's gold. No, we have to receive it. Like, we have to align with what's happening. He's showing us so that we can align with it. So we can go, yes, I do. I intentionally receive it right now. It's not just a good word. It's something that we actively receive. And we want to align with it. Lord, if you're releasing gold coins to us, what do we do? Like, what do we do with it? What are we supposed to do in our spirit? What are we supposed to do in the earth? I just open my hands to you, Lord, to receive what you have for me. I open my eyes to receive the healing that you have for the eyes. And even the ears, you guys, when she was talking about the ears, it's for spiritual healing. I can feel it right now. So if you are needing to hear in the spirit better, receive that from the Lord. Receive it from these angels. Align with that. That's so cool. Okay, I haven't been reading all this, you guys. Okay. Fair said, I have a very soft place in my heart for angels. They have loved me like family. They often remind me of my sisters when my parents would discipline me, and my sisters felt like it was too harsh. My sisters would be furious and confront my parents. I often hear angels address the Father passionately about the attacks I have experienced. One angel has stood up for me and confronted the Father, but the Father quickly humbled the angel and said, "That's my daughter," assuring the angel that he has love and supreme strength and power over my life. And then Karen said, "It's so funny that you said my nose, because this morning I noticed God was cleaning my eyes, nose, and throat." That's so funny. Well, here's what I really think, that we have a tendency to, we want to align with what's in heaven. That's why we're all here. We all want to, but we kind of don't take the steps to. We don't always seek what the Father's will is first. We have a tendency to do and then seek. I mean, I can say I'm that person still. A lot of times with my health, I'll be like, well, I should take this supplement. Oh yeah, I didn't really even see if that's will Father. Like, you know what I mean? Or whatever. I just think, oh, that's good. I assume what's good for me, and I revert back to the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And this is good, this is bad, whatever. It's good to get healed. It's not good to be sick. Obviously that's what we think. And there is some truth to it. And this is the thing, is that the tree of the knowledge of good and evil has some truth to it. It's just that what's life-giving comes from a totally different place. And so we have to say, okay, like even one time I had someone say, you need to cast out that pain because that is not the will of the Father in your body. And I got this huge check in my spirit that said, no, actually, the pain is communicating with me, that's how my body is communicating with me, and that it's not supposed to go. And so when I heard that from the Father, I just said, that might be a word for you, but it's not for me. And so for me, he's saying, no, that's important for my body to communicate with me. And so I don't know if that's for everyone. It's probably not, but it is for me. And so I have to say, actually, I'm not casting out pain. I'm not doing that because it's how my body has a voice. And so for me, what I have to do is go, if I feel this pain, why is it? What's there? How can I pay attention to you, body? Like, what's going on? Is there hidden trauma? Is there stuff I need to release? I can just then pay attention. And so we each have these things that we need to make sure that we aren't just going with what everybody says is the will of the Lord, because it's very different for every person. It really is. And so, and it's not only every person, it's even every circumstance, because it might be the will of the Lord for you to cast that pain out right now. And then it could be the will of the Lord that tomorrow you need to listen to the pain, And so let's just make sure that we're paying attention and we're attuning our ear to these things. We're watching for what's happening. We're paying attention to people like Fair who see all these things, because I don't always see like that. When she says something, I'll get a word of knowledge about it, kind of like the ears, that's for your spiritual hearing, like I get that when she says that, but we're supposed to work together like this, because I don't always get the seeing. That's not for me. But what is for me is to get that word of knowledge. And so then I can go, oh, this is what the Lord's speaking about this. Oh, and that helps the body too. And so let's use our gifts Let's pay attention to one another. If we need help, let's just remember we can engage with one another. Don't forget, this is part of our class to try to meet with one another to engage over these things. Okay. So if that wasn't clear before, let me remake it clear. This week, as you start paying more attention to receiving, I want you to make an appointment with someone in the class to engage together about receiving. Okay. Because, last week when it's like, what did we learn about again? I forgot. And then, oh, did I look at that chart? Well, oops. And so, it's fine. No condemnation, but this is what you need to do is be intentional about what we're learning about and then apply it to your life. And we need each other to be able to see, hear, feel, smell, whatever. Okay. We need that. And that's why you meet together, is because we need each other. That's the truth of how we're made as the body of Christ. And so my nose can't function alone in my body. You can't function alone in the body of Christ. It's not meant to be like that. Okay. Okay. What was your question that I answered, Amanda?
When you were saying about how there is some truth, but it's not all truth, because and how we think that I think that one of the things is that we, like you were saying about healing, if we're not healed, that's like not from the Father, but yet that's something that the pain and all that is something that our body uses to communicate with us. And what I was gonna say earlier was that, when you were asking about our week, and then what I was gonna say was that although that I endured a lot during the week, it's like it didn't matter. Like it wasn't affecting me. Like it was a journey and adventure because I was going through these things. But in the end, it came out, we came out all right. It was like every step of the way, the Father was with me, the angels were with me. I had a team that was helping me get along. Um, and one of the things that I started doing was about the joy and about laughter. And that's really changed a lot of my mindset too, because I know that I've always focused on my legs and the pain and oh, I'm this and oh, I'm that. But now it's like, okay, we're making it. We're getting through this. And, I know that the Father has said there's going to be healing. It's healed, but we just have to go through the process. So, yeah, and just what you were saying about, I've always thought, well, because I'm not healed, I'm not this, and how are people going to look at me and say, hey, can you pray for me? Or, different things like that, just things that go through your mind. But yeah, that makes so much sense.
I totally get it, because I was not going to start this class because of those same feelings of going, who am I? No one cares what I think when I'm still struggling with diabetes stuff. You know what I mean? So I was like, no one's going to want to know about this. And then the Lord just said to me, Chris, you have a mandate for healing and you have been healed a lot. You just are still in the process. And it's okay to still be in the process. And the other thing that he reminded me of is the things that we're made for is where we get attacked the most. And so if you are, for instance, supposed to be a big giver financially, guess where you're going to be attacked the most? In your finances. And so think about that with the things that you're struggling with. If you are really struggling with being attacked in a certain area, go, Lord, is this because this is who you've made me to be? What do I need to do to get to the other side of this? Or is this something that I need to do in the midst of it? Because like for me, I'm having to do this in the midst of it. That I'm still going through all sorts of healing. But that's part of it, is being able to share in the process of it, because as I struggle through things and then make it to the other side, I get to share all of it. And so we get to walk together in these things. But at the same time, the Lord has shown me the stuff that are still what I would consider a stronghold. Okay. Like I can recognize most of the time, I can usually recognize things that are strongholds that I'm still like working with the Lord on, or working through these things. It's not always as easy as just breaking it off in the courts. I would love to say it's always that easy, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes there are deeper things and deeper levels of healing that we need to go through. And so, what did you say?
I second that.
Yeah. So when that happens, the Lord has shown me I can't help heal somebody else who is dealing with this same stronghold, because it's common and it opens up doors of more attack. And so, for instance, if you're struggling with blood sugar stuff, I could share, hey, this has helped me with this, but I cannot engage over you to try to heal you, because that's something that I'm still struggling with in me. And it's like the Lord he shows me, nope, you can't deal with that one. You're dealing with it right now for you. And so just be aware of that. It's nothing that's bad. In fact, I've had to say, I love you very much, but this isn't something I can engage over you over. Because what happens is like their demonic stuff attaches to me when that happens. And so it's because it's still kind of an open door, if that makes sense. And so I have to be careful about that, that I share things that maybe have been helpful, but it's not something that I can actively heal them from, if that makes sense. I don't know. That was a little off subject. I don't know how I got there, but must have been important. Let me read this. Okay, fair. You need to start putting that for everybody instead of just for me.
Yeah. Okay. The reason that I need for a second set of eyes to come in and clear it. I don't take authority over, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's why I do that. It's like, okay, because the enemy does.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but there's nothing that could be bad about this. So I'm just going to say it out loud for everybody. And then you can ask the Lord individually if it's for you or not. Okay, this is the best thing that we can do. So Fair said, press into this. There seems to be a heavenly being that appears translucent. It provides healing and hope. It needs to be assigned. There needs to be a spirit for money, or there seems to be a spirit for money that needs to be assigned. There is a new dimension of heavenly health being released. Okay.
And I don't know who this is for. And again, they're getting my attention.
Okay.
It looks like a heavenly being that works in the courts. I don't know who he's for, but he looks to be very scholarly. He has like the looking glass on his eyes. He has the documents and stuff. He looks really about business. So yeah, he needs to be assigned.
So I don't remember what these people are called, but what did you say?
Possible? I'm just wondering. I don't know too many of us that don't need some type of healing. So can you just assign it to everybody? I don't know too many people that don't have a need for money in different places or heavenly health. I work in the courts, so I'm going to ask you to assign that one to me. The Lord's given me a mandate to do some books regarding the courts of heaven, and I'm working on one today.
Awesome.
I heard, I felt Holy Spirit affirm that for you, Lisa. But I don't know if I have the authority to sign this. They just get my attention. Yeah. And then I report.
I do have that authority. And I don't think it's for this class. It's just in general. I know I have that authority to assign angels places. And so I can ask if all of these are for everyone. I would say this: almost always, if you ask for it, it will be assigned to you. Okay. So if you feel like you need that or it's for you, then ask for them to be assigned to you.
Yes.
And
Okay.
then just be assigned to me.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, what's going on?
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I just heard a healer of broken relationships. A healer of broken relationships.
Thank you, Lord.
I receive all the angels for me and for the people that I work for to partner up in different areas as I work with students. I'm also a counselor, Karen, but I'm at the middle school and I work with a lot of students. And so people just like me need a lot of healing in different areas, relationship wise, health wise,
Yeah.
mental, emotional, the works, financial, even.
So Christine, when you were saying that you are assigned to do that, are you not comfortable with doing that right now? You're not.
I was
You-
doing it. I just don't do it out loud. I am that person that does almost everything in the spirit without being vocal about it. So I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but I was doing that. One of the things I felt led to say, and I actually think this is maybe for your benefit, Lisa, because of your work in the courts and all of this. Maybe you already know it, but um, the court of angels is where we can go to ask for these angels to be assigned to our scrolls. Okay. So when they're assigned to our scrolls, that's our what is to be worked out in our destiny. Okay. The things that are supposed to be happening in the earth for us. And so anything like that, like healing, like whatever it is, can be assigned to us. And so if you go to the court of angels, you can go, are there any here who want to be on this assignment? And just ask the angels for that. And then they're actually, I don't think I've ever seen there be a time when no one volunteered. There are so many angels there that are just waiting for an assignment. And it's like, I don't even know, but lots and lots and lots of angels are just waiting for assignments. And so if you have something, you will see them jumping up and down. Please pick me. I mean, they get very excited about coming and being assigned. And so I feel like that is a place for everyone. The court of angels is somewhere that everyone can go. And so you can go to the court of angels, ask for them to be assigned. Because if they're ready, the Lord will assign them if it's something that is his will. I mean, if it's for your destiny, for sure.
Share this
Is
with
there
you guys.
protocol? Is there protocol to go into the court of angels?
Is there protocol? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Or do you just do everything like you would through Yeshua?
Do everything like you would through Yeshua. That is the only protocol you need. I'll just tell you that. One of the things that I was going to say earlier about the tree of the knowledge of good and evil versus the tree of life. You know how we said that there is some truth in the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? What happens is when we function from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, we take that truth and we make it a protocol. Okay, so that's the whole man-made religion stuff. We make it a religion. And so the only difference between the truth that comes from the tree of life is that it is only what's life-giving. And so there isn't a protocol that's made for it. And so it's not turning to the spirit of religion. So that being said, this relates to the court of angels in this way, because when we go, we just go with Yeshua and seek what's life-giving. Okay. So we don't seek what is it that I should learn to do to have this outcome that I want. Otherwise, when you do that, you're going right back into Christian witchcraft again. Okay. Christian witchcraft is functioning in the spirit outside of Yeshua. So we have a tendency to learn this works. I'm going to do that instead of going with Yeshua with how we're led. So every single time you go anywhere in the heavenly realms, go with Yeshua and do what you're led to do. You can always go with an intention and then be redirected. Okay. That is how I live my life. I go, okay, Lord, can we go to the court of angels? And then he takes me somewhere else. And I'm like, I take that as a no. And so he's never rude about it. He just takes me somewhere else that is going to get what I'm supposed to need in that time. Right. But that's what we need to do when we go to the court of angels or anywhere, is go, okay, my intention is to ask these angels to be assigned, but I will not assign angels because I've decided it's a good idea. That's not going to happen ever with me. I will only assign them because that's what I'm being led to do. And if I don't know if I'm being led, I'll just ask, is this something I can do? And again, I'll be led to do it or not. So I have learned the hard way. Many of you have heard the story about this. Some of you have not, but I died one time because I did that. And I found out later it was because I was operating in witchcraft without meaning to. And it was the open door that the enemy needed to take my life. Thankfully, I have a covenant with life, and so I was resurrected. But this is like, it's serious. And people don't recognize how serious Christian witchcraft is. But it is serious. You go with Yeshua only. You don't learn how to function in the spirit without him. That isn't what we should do. We need to learn dependence on him to function like he functions, which is to only do what we see the Father doing. Right? Our maturing is to depend fully on Father and to be in his will all the time. And so, am I there yet? Probably not, but I'm growing and I'm getting there. And my practice is to fully rely on Father. And so I would say there is wisdom in going about things a certain way. Like when you were asking for the protocol, it's not a bad idea to ask for protocol. All right. In the courts, there is some protocol, some ways that the Lord expects us to function, but grace overrides protocol every time. And so when we go with Yeshua and we don't just assume we're doing something, then we don't have to worry about protocol. It's something that he leads anyway. He's the one who takes care of the protocol. He will lead me to a court that I've never heard of and show me what to do every time. And you don't have to be mature for that. I feel like the best thing is to be a little immature so that you are easily led. I had a time one time where there was this group I was a part of, and they were seeking to see who should be on the bench of 3 in this group. And they knew of a few people who were mature enough, or they thought were mature enough. And they were asking if we would all seek the Lord if we were supposed to do it. And then we were all going to engage together to see what the Lord led. And I was what I considered to be a baby. Okay. So in engaging heaven, I was like, I don't even know what a bench is. I don't know how to do anything. I was very new to engaging heaven in my soul. I had been engaging heaven in my spirit for a long time, but I didn't understand it in my soul. And so anyway, when we started engaging, he said, would anyone like to lead us into the court of war? And I was in my mind going, I never even heard of the court of war. Nope, not me. And no one volunteered. And so then he said, Christine, would you lead us into the court of war? And in my spirit, I knew I was supposed to. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to look like a fool. This is how I'm thinking. So I'm like, depending on Yeshua, big time. I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. I'll lead us in. Thinking, what the hell is supposed to happen? I don't know. Okay, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not always excuse me, excuse my language. What in the world is supposed to happen? And so anyway, I was trying to say, what in the world is supposed to happen here? And I just totally depended on Yeshua, and whatever he showed me is what I shared. And I was like so stepping out on faith to do this in front of people, because I'm thinking they know all the stuff. I know nothing. What if it's not even close to how it is? But I did anyway. And let me tell you, they were blown away by what the Lord did in that session when we were in the court of war, because no one had functioned like that before. And my immaturity was my maturity, if that makes sense. My not knowing was my strength, because I had full reliance on Yeshua. And so it's most important that we strip away everything that we know from that tree of knowledge, and we go with only where he's leading us into life and love. That is it. And so if we can resign ourselves to knowing nothing, we will understand so much more, because we'll be shown everything. And so anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, because it seems like we want to know, what do we do to do this? What do we do to get this outcome? This is the Christian way. Okay. Okay. How do I get healed from my ear pain? Tell me what to do. What prayer should I pray? Show me what bloodline stuff I need to deal with. Like, really, I don't know. I get these questions freaking constantly. People just want to know what to do. And I say, just quit asking what to do, and just let's pay attention in the heavenlies to what's going on. So if we pay attention to what's going on, then all of a sudden he'll show, oh, there's this cage around you or something. Like, it's something totally different than I think it's going to be. And then he shows, all we got to do is crack this thing around you. And I'm like, how do I have this weapon in my hand to crack this cage around you? Oh, it's that whole backpack concept. I have everything I need all the time, and I just automatically have it. And so now I can do that, get rid of it, and then all of a sudden your ear problem is solved. And it's so interesting, because I would never think of it. That's nothing that I've ever even seen. How would I know? Except for I just pay attention. What's going on? So when we do that, we can receive everything we need in the moment. Okay, I keep missing all the messages. I'm so sorry. I'm talking too much. Ooh, that's fun. My goodness, there's so much I've missed. I'm so sorry. Okay. Fair said, a healer released, a healer of broken relationships, released a healer of land. Feel like that's for you, Nidia, about what we engaged about earlier, by the way. Released an oil.
I received that.
Released an oil of healing for individuals of false doctrine. There are angels attached to this healing. Wow.
That's the one I wanted to really speak on, because that's
Sure.
the petition the Lord's got me working on today.
Awesome. Well, so what do you know? Tell us everything.
Yeah. That's what he's got me working on today. He's working on dealing with false doctrines that we have followed, whether it's Catholicism and the worship of Mary and the Queen of Heaven, or whether it's ancestral whether it's Santeria, just all the false doctrines, Hinduism, Buddhism, all of them. That's what he's
Wow.
got me working on today. When I saw that, I was like, are you kidding me?
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And for me personally, both of my sons are a part of I have two sons,
Hmm.
and they're both a part of the Black Hebrews.
Hmm.
The Black Hebrews, if you're not familiar with them, they are very, very religious, very strict doctrine. And my eldest son doesn't speak to me
Wow.
because there's no such thing as a woman minister.
Right.
So it just goes on and on and on and on. And the Lord's given me so many words about him, so many words about what's supposed to be going on with him. But I rest in what the Lord said.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And Karen said, I keep seeing an angel like a law angel wearing a blue hat and blue has jacket. I don't know what that meant. Seems like for legislation. Interesting. That's cool. So a lot of times legislation is done in the Court of Kings. I would say most times it's done in the Court of Kings. So it might be something that he's leading you or some of us into is to participate in the Court of Kings doing legislation. Fair said, strangely enough, an angel to heal our animals for food is released. Interesting. And Amanda said, my baby girl is dealing with allergies. You mean your dog? Yes. Okay. I was thinking. Look, Lisa's like, oh. Okay. At first I was like, why is that in relation to
Stuck
that
on
one?
that one. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what did they say? I just didn't catch it. Okay.
Well, then I realized, wait, she doesn't have kids. And so
Oh, well, I didn't know that. So.
right.
She's driving me bonkers right now because she's just like gnawing and gnawing and gnawing. I'm like, oh, stop. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh my goodness, you guys. Here's one. I think it's important. I think I even know who it's for. When you get a chance, see why I'm hearing this. Yes, this is fair. But the Lord is uprooting ungodly marriages. It seems like he is taking the shackles off. It's like the enemy married people who were not supposed to be married to derail Father's plans. Okay. So I think that's an important one. Also, Fair said there's an angel that is here to address African witchcraft that is released. He's able to address roots and things of that nature. Excuse me.
Can I ask something?
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm from Africa, could I be the one to receive this angel? Because I'm ready to receive now.
Absolutely.
All of us are from
Don't
Africa.
want to miss out.
Yeah.
They give me the blue.
I'm the only one from Africa, yeah. So this could
All
be
of
for
us are
me.
from Africa.
Well,
Yeah,
they give
actually.
some of this African witchcraft.
Okay. Well, and yeah, I mean, the truth is, I have had a lot of African witchcraft against me in my life as well. And so
Okay.
you are from Africa, and it is probably, I would say, out of everyone, I know most of you a decent amount. Okay. Maybe some of you a whole lot. And I know that a lot of people here deal with witchcraft and all of that, even rooting from Africa, but Lorato deals with the most. Okay.
Bless you.
She lives in a country that is ruled by witchcraft. They have a government that does sacrifices and stuff with witchcraft. And so I'm just telling you, and I know that sometimes we do too, but not openly. Okay. Like they openly do that. That is something that she's surrounded by. And so I just want to say, Lorato, it's very important for you that you engage that angel. It's probably important for all of us, but it's really important for you. Okay. So I think it's wise for
What is
all
the
of
angel's
us to
name?
seek that. What did you say?
Anybody have the angel's name?
I can't hear it, but it's like a A-N something. Yeah. I'll have to really, I have to really get this.
Christine,
Yes, ma'am.
you remember one of my angel is Anne.
I forgot. No, don't
Yeah, I
remember.
remember. I remember one of my angel is Anne, and the other one is Hendrik. So maybe it could be him. I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe.
Maybe.
It
uh,
seems like a host. It's like one major guy, one major being, and then it's like several behind him,
okay.
if that helps.
Awesome. Lisa, you said what country were you talking about?
You mentioned
Lorato?
Lorado.
Yeah, she's in South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christine, with what you sharing when you explaining how South Africa is rooted in witchcraft, it reminded me of the story what happened at work this week. I think it was on Friday. My colleagues, almost everybody, if they're not Christian, others they are Christian, they're also practicing witchcraft. They use it for protection, they use it for strengthening, they use it for seeking positions at work. Most of my colleagues they do it, and I work with guys who are coming from a site where it's highly practiced. It's so bad that the person they cannot eat the food and then leave it and go to another office and get something, come back. The person will not be able to eat the food again because they're constantly in fear of somebody putting something in their food,
Right.
and they end up dying. And then we have this plant room where it's a Microsoft server room. We have to go in with extra ppm, extra ear muffs. There was this big ones. I use the other guy's ear muffs. They were on a table. And it was an emergency, and I quickly ran there. And he called me while I'm attending the emergency that, why did you take my earmuffs without asking me? My witch doctor said that people should not use my things. You end up not hearing, you know? And I was like, oh, shucks, I'm dealing with this. And then I remembered at work, this is what I'm dealing with. And you sharing what you're sharing and hearing this angel is here from Africa. So I think it could be aligned with that because I constantly work with um, guys who are busy practicing witchcraft a lot at work. They come with medicine, they spill it in the floor at work as an instruction from their traditional healer or the witch doctor, whatever they would use. But a lot of time it's not godly stuff.
Yeah,
So I should be engaging this angel.
for sure. I would
Yeah,
absolutely do that.
I sanitized his earmuffs and made a video to show him I sanitized them so that he just end the story because he was just telling everybody in the office as well.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, it is a reality that you guys deal with there is, I mean, people do curses freaking constantly. I mean,
Yeah.
and they will try to take stuff of yours to try to, it's like I mean, in the States, we deal with people who do voodoo, do this sort of thing a lot. Like they'll take a hair and use it right. Well, they do that all the time there too. Um, and I'm sure that everyone is constantly paranoid about that. I've seen it. I've seen that a lot, and there is reality to it. But the one thing the Lord showed me that is helpful for you and anyone who is a Christian there that you could encourage them with is that if you go and eat from the tree of life, like for instance, I don't ever have to worry about my food there. If I get up to go to the bathroom or whatever, I don't worry about it. The Lord has shown me that even if they come to try to do that, if I eat from the tree of life while I'm eating the food, I'm fine. I won't get poisoned. No worries. Same thing with drinking. I drink the living water. And it's very important that we just remember if we source from the tree of life, we don't have to be paranoid about that stuff. But we need to make sure that we are also protecting ourselves as the Lord leads. And so just like this angel to be helping with that, that's awesome, because that angel can probably protect you from different things that are trying to come against you or whatever, you know. I think that's awesome. The Lord has told me various weird things to do to protect myself from that stuff. And so it happens a lot more when I'm in your country. I haven't been anywhere that it was as bad as your country when it comes to how much people attack one another like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it doesn't happen everywhere. It does, but it's just on like supercharge over there. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I can relate with the topic today. On my way to work almost every day this week, I have been constantly, I'll play radio music and I would mute it and start praying. And my prayer, it has been led to be constantly. I remember in class we talked about these angels that are waiting to be assigned. So it's a matter of us asking them. And I was constantly reminded of, hey, whatever that the angel is there for, and is it for me? Step in, and I would make that prayer that says, hey, if there's any angels that is available to help me with anything I'm gonna need today, I'm not aware of, be active, be ready to step in. If you see the need, jump in and help me. I might not be aware when do I need you, but constantly just show up when you're supposed to show up, whichever angel is there. And I remember I've been saying almost the same prayer almost every day this whole week, particularly this whole week. And hearing what we're talking about now, it makes so much sense that it's about time you learn to receive, you learn to ask and say, help, I receive whatever the Lord has made available. Grab it, take it, and receive it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's so good. I love you saying all that because it's just right
Yeah.
on. That's cool. And Fair said the angel that addresses witchcraft is able to break the ground to remove debris and sacrificial offerings. Awesome. Cool. Thank you. There's one more thing that I feel like I'm supposed to talk about when it comes to receiving. It's not just about it has to do with what you were talking about with intentionally inviting them in and inviting them to help. But the Lord has been really speaking to me about the importance and power that we have as females to call in what is needed. And that's something that I mentioned earlier, but I'm emphasizing now. Okay. The Lord has taught me a lot through working with different businesses. I often help different businesses govern and govern their businesses in the spirit. And one of the things that I have learned is how important the feminine is in any business. So if you have, like, I'll use you as an example, River. Okay. You help, well, I would say you pretty much run these pregnancy care centers, right? Or a pregnancy care center. And this is so important for you to be the one who calls in the business, who calls in the angels to help, who calls in the finances, who calls in the right leadership. You know what I mean? You're the one, and you'll have other, but female energy for some reason is very important in the spirit to be able to call it in. And so it's part of you receiving. You are receiving on behalf of your business, right? If you have, I mean, it could be a husband, or it could be just a male friend, you know, or a family member who needs help in their business. I mean, you need to be the one to recognize you have power to call things in. Okay. If you are working in any way with a male, I'll tell you, I have a brother-in-law who I help with this all the time. In his business, he'll be like, I don't know what's going on. We have a blockage or something, Chris, but we're not getting any sales. And I go, oh, right. I need to help. This is my job, even though I don't do anything with his work. My job in the spirit is to call it in. And so I have to partner with him and call in the business. And I just call in business. I call in angels to help. I call in whatever is necessary. If he needs a manufacturer, I call in the manufacturer. You know, I make sure that I do the calling in of this stuff. It's so important that we use our ability to receive for the kingdom in business, in education, in whatever it is, whatever the Lord has called you to be a part of in the earth, that you use that part of who you are to be able to receive what is necessary from the kingdom of heaven. Fair. I was not ignoring you. Go ahead.
I don't know if this is appropriate. That's why I lowered my hand. But I can't believe people don't connect with you more to do that. You know, to have you to govern over their businesses. I just always saw a need for you to be paid by companies to do that, like godly companies, because you're profound in, you know. That's all. I didn't know
Well,
if that was appropriate or not. That's why I lowered my hand.
it's fine. That is something that I used to do a lot with, in fact, River was a part of this, the engaging kingdom um, business that I had. So Jason and I, we made this engaging kingdom business course to help people learn how to, engage their kingdom businesses in the heavenly realms, and how to create structure and how to govern. And then we had private appointments for people who needed help. And we, yeah, we had a podcast all about it. All of that stuff is still available. We just don't actively pursue that anymore. And I'm happy to help when people ask. I just do private appointments myself. So if somebody needs help with that, then I am happy to help. And I do have people who pay me to do it, but they don't do what you're thinking of. I know you've talked to me about this before, about putting me on salary and things like that. I've only had one business who ever did that. And everyone else just pays for a private appointment basically to be able to do that. So anyway, I would love it, but it's not something I've felt like a huge, I don't know how to say this, like a drive to go after. But I'm always open to it. So I guess I want to be available for that, but I haven't pursued seeking out businesses to help, if that makes sense.
It
Okay.
makes sense, but I really recommend people to connect with you, to engage that and pay you appropriately.
Well,
That's all.
that's nice. Thank you. Okay, if anybody needs help, you heard her. Okay. Anyway, well, oh, that's nice. Already, I'll tell you, Karen, you did. It's good. Thank you. Any questions, you guys, about receiving from the Lord?
If you have any other notes, you'll add it to our class because, yeah,
If I have any
about
other
receiving.
notes, is that what you said?
Notes about receiving. Because I'm going to be honest, I have a tendency to just go and do and not actually position myself to receive. And I think that part of my late these challenges that I've experienced has made me more feminine to where I have to ask for help, you know,
Yep.
and I have to be in a place of receiving, which is different. So, yeah.
I think
So
that's
if you have
good.
any other words, you think so?
I do. I think it's really good for you to be in that place. Because what is happening, even by accident with you, is that religion is being torn down. And you are not functioning on your own anymore. You are having to rely on the Lord. You are having to rely on angels. You are having to rely on other people's help. And this is the healthy place to be. I believe that that's what matures us, is to bring us to that place where we don't think we know what to do all the time. I'll tell you from my own experience, I have been in ministry for all of my adult life. I'll tell you that. Okay. That's just what the Lord called me into when I was in high school. I went to college for it and I went straight into it. Even during college, I was in ministry. And this has been my whole life. I have learned a lot about what to do and the good things to do and what the best practices are as Christians. And here, you need to read your Bible every day. And if you're not in your Bible every day, then you're not going to be functioning in the way that you should, right? Okay, I'm using that as an example. That's a very basic one that pretty much all of the church recommends. Not only recommends, but pressures you into. And if you aren't reading one day, then you feel guilt for not trying to be close to the Lord, right? The problem is we have a tendency to make protocol and religion out of everything that is beneficial. So we have a lot of things that are beneficial, and the Lord shows us this is good for you. This is wonderful. But then we turn it into religion and we say, you must do this. And so we need to reprogram ourselves to not know what to do, to not be the expert in everything, to actually be the one who goes, I don't know, let me look. My favorite leaders that I have, they say, I don't know everything, but I'll ask and find the answer. Those are my favorite leaders in business who say that. When I know for sure they know the answer. Okay. I know for sure they know the answer, but they are humble enough to say, I don't know everything, but I'll find it. I'll find out. Because that's who I want to be. I want to be the one who goes, well, I have a good idea of what to do, but let me just ask and find out. That's who we need to be. And tearing down this religion is such a big part of receiving. We can't receive if we think we know it all. That's the truth. We become really crappy receivers when we think we know everything and we think we have all that we need. It's funny. We live in this state of lack thinking we know it all. Isn't it goofy? But when we start to realize we don't know it all, but we have all the resources available to us, that's when we start living in abundance. Is that we don't rely on ourselves. We rely on all of the resources of the kingdom. And so this whole thing, I don't know if I have a lot of big teaching and wisdom for everybody. What I do have is saying it's a practice. Let's practice together. Okay. That is the point. We need to actually put into practice receiving. We need to put into practice the seeking so that we can receive. So all of these things that the Lord is giving us today, I mean, I don't think it's just today, you guys. I feel like this is a beginning of this complete crazy pouring out. And so as he's pouring out, let's practice receiving so we don't just leave it on the shelf there. Right? I mean, this week, you guys practice receiving. Do it more than once a day. Like, go, okay, what do you have for me now? What do you have for me now? One of my favorite things someone told me when I first started engaging is every day Yeshua has a gift for you, but you have to ask for it. And I was like, really? And so I just would ask Yeshua every day, do you have a gift for me today? And I would pay attention to what it was. And sometimes he'd have me unwrap a present, and sometimes he'd just give me something, and I'd be like, why do I have this trumpet? You know, and the next day it'd be like, why do I have this menorah? And then it would always be something, and I would ask questions about it, and he would show me what it's for. And he would show me how it had to do with part of who I am. So everything he has for us is a part of our identity supply. And so we have a whole supply that is attached to our identity that we oftentimes don't even go after. So be intentional about receiving. Yeah. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, let me just say some of this that I'm seeing in here. I see one person say, I feel that God is dealing with and lifting depression. Joy is being released. All right, let's receive the joy.
I receive it.
I receive joy.
Pearl, go ahead.
This week, when I was speaking, asking the Lord about my heart, He reminded me of the time when He showed me I was standing under this like porch. For those of you who can remember, like Dallas or Dynasty, and there'd be these massive houses, but it would be like a really huge covered area before you actually get into the house. So Jesus was standing there with me, and it felt like we'd just gotten married, and I'm standing there close to him, like face to face, as you would, you know, where you face your husband and wife. And he said to me, whilst holding my hand up to his near his chest, that this house is for you. And for some reason, I said, no, Lord. And he said, this house is for you. And everything in my heart said, I don't deserve it. And instantly he said, that's because you have an orphan spirit. And no one had ever said that to me before, because I spoke from my spirit. We went into the house, and it's a massive house, staircases going up either side up to the first floor. And the house wasn't furnished. So I said, rather than being happy, and that's the thing I noticed with me, in the spirit realm, my true self is exposed. Rather than being happy, I said to him, Lord, I said, how am I going to decorate all this house by, what am I going to do? This house needs decorating. And he said to me, so gracious, don't worry, we will do it together. Now, what really struck me wasn't the fact that we were going to furnish the house together, but when we first entered, I found myself under the stairs. So, with him reminding me of that a couple of days ago, and me having an orphan spirit, because that has been quite a while ago, this whole thing that you have given us, the 3 or 4 sheets, is about the heart of the son or the heart of the orphan.
Right.
So does that mean then that everything you have on this sheet applies to me as an orphan?
No, every single thing on this sheet is different. For me, I'll have one thing that I recognize in this area, I'm functioning as an orphan. And in this area, I'm functioning as a son. And so you'll have areas of growth that you have grown through, and then you'll have areas that you need to still grow through. And so I will say this, as you were speaking, I was reminded of something that the Lord brought up to me yesterday for our class, and I haven't brought up today. It's about having our love gate open. Now, this is really interesting, but the first love gate is the gate that is about intimacy with the Lord, and it's what everything flows through. So if we have this first love gate shut, all of the other gates aren't receiving anything. But that is an important one to make sure that we have open. And having that love gate open is what allows us to receive. And so, as an orphan, I'm not saying you, but orphans feel very unloved. They feel alone. They feel unworthy. They feel their love gate is shut. And so I would say, if the Lord is saying you're operating with an orphan spirit, ask him, how do I reopen my love gate to you so that I can receive your sonship? Because that is what we really need, is to operate as sons. Because as a son, I know I deserve everything. You know, it's so crazy, but I know, like, it's my inheritance, of course. What is my father's is mine. I don't ever, when my dad, he was making a lot of money at one time in his life, and I was young, and I was right out of college, and he had a Lexus that he let me borrow. And this car I just treated it like it was my own, because it was my dad's, and whatever is my dad's is mine. And that's how I was. And I was on his insurance because it's my dad. And I remember when I moved to Chicago, which was a long ways away from Kansas, by the way. And when I did, my car, when I was driving down the road, started on fire. My car, which was really my dad's car. Okay. It started on fire. And I thought it was going to blow up. Actually, all of the police thought it was going to blow up. They had like all these blocks blocked off because with all these fire trucks, because they thought it was going to blow up. And it went up in flames, the whole car. I was fine, but I was devastated, thinking my dad is going to kill me because this is his car. And I called just hysterical, saying the car caught on fire. And you know what my dad did? I thought he was going to kill me. And he was like, honey, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine, but your car's not. And he's like, I don't care about the car. You are my daughter. And that's how Father is with us. Everything is ours that's his, but he cares about our heart. He cares about us. He doesn't care about the house that is unfurnished. He cares about us who's hiding under the stairs, thinking that we're alone or that stuff is more important. But we have a good Father, and we are his sons, and he wants us to have that complete trust in his love for us, that there's nothing we can do that would upset him, because we're loved by him. You know, that's the truth of who we are. And so when we know we're sons, it's easy to receive. Now I know everything I have that's my dad's, that's my own, and I don't have to knock when I go to his house. It's fine. I'm always welcomed in, and he's always happy to buy me lunch or whatever it is. It doesn't matter, because I'm just spending time with him, and I'm there for his pleasure, and he's there for my pleasure. And that's who we are. That's the truth of who we are.
And the other thing I saw, whether it was in that reminder vision or the following day, he reminded me of the story of the prodigal son. And then I ended up back in father's. I know I was just back where he is, his home, his whatever. And I remember while I was there, in my heart, I was saying, now that I'm back, it's like the son was thinking the son who was there wasn't taking advantage of any of the blessings that he had available to him. And I remember asking the question in my heart. I became like the son who did not stray. And I felt myself thinking, oh, I wonder if I can do this. Do I need to ask permission? And what I felt in my heart, the Lord saying is that you are home now. You don't need to ask to use anything. Anything you want to use is yours. Just go for it.
Yay, that's so awesome. That's such a
And
good.
and it's like I don't know why my heart is that. I can see why he said I'm the orphan, because it's like me asking for protocols all the time is because I am afraid. And it is because I think I am not loved and I do not think that I am worthy of everything that is available. So I want to make sure I don't do anything wrong because I don't want to be disciplined.
Right.
I want to do everything right in order to be loved. So it's like him encouraging me to say that just be free.
Yeah.
Everything that I have is yours, basically, and I can use it. Me thinking I need permission. I don't need permission to use my inheritance.
Yes. Oh, that's good.
Mm.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing all that. It's a big deal. Oh, that's fun. I'm sorry, I'm reading these things in the chat. Someone said, I feel like the Lion of the tribe of Judah is in the room. What does that mean? Well, probably means that he is generally, when he does this with me, when he comes around me, he starts roaring over the enemy and starts kind of being protective. That's what he does to me. So I guess I don't know for sure if that's for everyone, but probably. Okay. I think that what he's doing is showing his papa power, if you know what I mean. And then I saw also someone said, oh, I love this, by the way. I think you're wooing some evil being to the Father. Strangely enough, it feels like an entity on the land that is listening to this teaching. Well, this happens. I don't know if you know, but even evil spirits can be redeemed. And it is beautiful, beautiful when it happens. And I would love for them to know the love of the Father again and to really be able to trust him again and come back to our side. So, anyway, welcome. Listen to the awesomeness of the Father, please.
And there's something with the sacred tree. I don't know what that means. I'm just hearing sacred tree. I don't, if y'all would ask the Lord. I'm able to hear and see, but I don't always understand until, they sit me down and I can perceive. But yeah.
Well, immediately when you said sacred tree, I thought it was the tree of life. And I really think we forget that that's where we came from and where we need to live, is not only with him in Eden, but as part of him in the tree. And so the tree of life has the essence of the Father inside. And when we source from that, there is healing, there is wisdom, there is all of the love that we need. And so I believe we're supposed to kind of go back to our roots. It's a nice roots, the good roots of this tree of life that has to do with life and love and not about rules, basically. Right?
Mhm.
Okay, well, you guys, it's already 3:06. I thought we'd be done by now. I'm so sorry. But it's always a pleasure. Please practice receiving this week, okay? And you might go back over that list again with the son, slave, orphan stuff, okay? All right. Love you guys. See ya.
Love you all. Bye bye.
Bye.